The concept of time travel has always been a subject of fascination for many. The mere thought of being able to witness the past or explore the future is intriguing. But what if time travel isn't just a product of science fiction, but a reality that we are yet to fully comprehend? One such story that has been passed down through generations is the tale of Air-Marshal Sir Victor Goddard. In 1935, Sir Goddard was tasked with inspecting an inactive airbase located in Drem, near Edinburgh in Scotland. What he saw there left him perplexed and bewildered. The airbase was in a state of complete disarray, with cattle grazing on the wild grass that had managed to force its way through the tarmac. However, it was what happened next that truly defied all logic and explanation. As Sir Goddard was flying his biplane, he encountered harsh weather conditions that forced him to return to the airbase until the weather cleared. But when he returned, he found the airbase to be in mint condition and fully operational. The mechanics were wearing blue overalls and were working on yellow planes parked on the runway, planes that Sir Goddard did not recognize. The sight left him utterly perplexed. How could an abandoned and run-down airbase be restored to its former glory in mere moments? And why were the mechanics wearing blue overalls instead of the standard-issue khaki uniform? The planes themselves were painted in yellow, which was not a color used by the Air Force at the time. For years later, Sir Goddard found himself in the same location, only this time Europe was at war. And he was shocked to see everything he had witnessed 4 years earlier, the same people in blue overalls servicing yellow planes, the same Miles Magister aircraft he couldn't recognize before. Was it possible that Sir Goddard had somehow traveled 4 years into the future and back again? Skeptics may argue that Sir Goddard was simply confused about his location, but such a simple explanation fails to account for the numerous peculiarities of the event. Besides, a man of Sir Goddard's rank and reputation would hardly be prone to such a basic error. So what really happened on that fateful day in 1935? Was it just a glitch in the fabric of time and space, or was Sir Goddard a victim of some bizarre experiment in time travel? We may never know for sure. But the story of Sir Goddard's accidental time travel remains a fascinating and perplexing mystery that continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. There was another story in 1932 that has baffled many for years. This spine-chilling story was a part of the book The Little Giant Book of Eerie Thrills and Unspeakable Chills, written by Ron Edwards, C. B. Colby, John Macklin. According to the authors, back in 1932, newspaper reporter J.Bernard Hutton and photographer Joachim Brandt were sent to do a feature story on the Hamburg Shipyard, in Germany. After completing their assignment, just as they were about to leave the premises, they heard the sound of aircraft engines only to look up and see the sky full of fighter planes. The anti-aircraft batteries opened fire and bombs started going off. All of a sudden, this place had become a war zone. Things were exploding, buildings were collapsing, there was death and chaos everywhere. Before rushing out to save their lives, Hutton even asked a security guard if there was something they could do to help out, but was asked to immediately leave the area instead. As the two drove into Hamburg, things changed. The sky cleared up and everything was back to being normal. There was no blood or violence, buildings were fine. No one seemed to panic. It was as if nothing had happened. When Hutton and Brandt looked behind towards the shipyard, they couldn't spot anything wrong with it. No damage, no smoke come from the buildings. Shocking. The newspaper office obviously did not believe the two. Even the pictures that Brandt had been taking during the attack showed everything to be normal. The shipyard looked as good as new. Their colleagues dismissed their claim by deciding that they must have stopped on their way for a drink and it was the alcohol making them see things. Bernard Hutton later moved to London just before the Second World War began. In 1943, what he read in a newspaper one morning almost made his heart stop. It was a story about a successful raid by a Royal Air Force squadron on the Hamburg Shipyard. The resemblance was uncanny. This was an exact representation of what he and Brandt witnessed 11 years back. How could they have witnessed a wartime raid 11 years before it actually happened? Some speculate that they may have stumbled upon a secret military experiment or time travel technology that allowed them to witness a future event. Others believe that they may have entered an alternate reality or dimension where the raid had already taken place. But perhaps the truth is even stranger than these theories. Could it be that Hutton and Brandt inadvertently witnessed a ripple in time, a disturbance in the fabric of the universe caused by the eventual raid on the shipyard? It's possible that the intense energy and violence of the future event created a temporary overlap with the present, causing a brief glimpse into a possible future. And when the raid actually took place in 1943, the two events finally aligned, causing a sense of déjà vu for Hutton and Brandt. Or maybe it was all just a hallucination brought on by stress, exhaustion, or even alcohol, as their colleagues suggested. But for Hutton, the memory of that day lingered, haunting him for years until he finally saw the news of the actual raid in 1943. The truth may never be known, and the story of Hutton and Brandt's strange experience will continue to intrigue and mystify those who hear it. But one thing is certain, the mysteries of time and space are vast and infinite, and we may never fully understand them. What do you think? Tell us in the comments below, and if you liked this video, show your support by hitting the subscribe button to watch more such videos.